the Netherlands, known for its iconic windmills, canals, and a remarkable history of trade, has long played a significant role on the global stage. Situated at the mouth of major European rivers and along important trade routes, the Dutch leveraged their geographical position to build one of the world's most influential maritime empires. The nation's history is shaped by its battles for independence, its golden age of trade and cultural flourishing, and its leadership in progressive politics and global commerce. Early inhabitants and Roman rule pre-Roman and Germanic tribes long before the Dutch Republic existed. The area we now call the Netherlands was home to Celtic and Germanic tribes. Around 800 BCE, these tribes developed settlements in the fertile lands around the Rhine and Meuse rivers. By 58 BCE, Julius Caesar and the Roman Empire extended their control over much of the region, subjugating the Batavians, a Germanic tribe. The Batavians would later serve as loyal auxiliaries in the Roman legions. The Romans built forts and towns, influencing local economies and cultures, particularly in the southern regions. The northern parts of the Netherlands, however, remained largely independent from Roman control. As the Roman Empire weakened, Germanic tribes, such as the Frisians and Saxons, began to reassert their dominance. The Frankish Empire and Christianization. After the fall of the Western Roman Empire in the 5th century, the Franks, under Clovis I, took control of the region. By the 8th century, under Charlemagne, the Netherlands became part of the Carolingian Empire. This era marked the Christianization of the region, with missionaries converting local rulers and populations, establishing the bishops of Utrecht as prominent religious and political figures. The Middle Ages. Rise of feudal states and maritime trade. Feudal fragmentation and local power. Throughout the early Middle Ages, the Netherlands was divided into several feudal states, such as Holland, Zeeland, Brabant, and Gelderland. These regions were technically part of the larger Holy Roman Empire, but local counts and dukes exercised substantial autonomy. Trade began to flourish in the 11th and 12th centuries, as Dutch cities gained access to the North Sea and Baltic Sea trading networks. The Hanseatic League and maritime expansion. By the 14th century, Dutch cities like Amsterdam, Dordrecht, and Leiden became key members of the Hanseatic League, a powerful network of trading cities that dominated commerce across northern Europe. The League allowed Dutch merchants to prosper, particularly in the export of wool, fish, and grain. Dutch expertise in shipbuilding also grew during this time, setting the stage for the country's future maritime dominance. The Burgundian and Habsburg rule. Burgundian Netherlands. In the 15th century, the Netherlands came under the control of the Burgundian dukes, who unified the fragmented feudal territories under a centralized rule. The Burgundians developed the region economically and culturally, fostering trade and supporting the arts. The Burgundian period also saw the development of Flemish painting, as artists like Jan van Eyck gained renown. Habsburg dynasty and the Dutch revolt. By the early 16th century, the Burgundian Netherlands passed to the powerful Habsburg dynasty. Charles V, the Holy Roman Emperor, and his successor Philip II of Spain, imposed strict Catholic rule over the largely Protestant northern provinces. Religious tensions and heavy taxation led to growing unrest. The Dutch Revolt, or 80 Years' War, 1568 to 1648, began as a Protestant rebellion against Philip II's rule. Under the leadership of William of Orange, the United Provinces of the Netherlands declared independence in 1581. However, it wasn't until the signing of the Treaty of Westphalia in 1648 that the Dutch Republic was formally recognized, ending Spanish control and granting the Netherlands its sovereignty. The Dutch Golden Age, 1600 to 1700, economic and cultural flourishing. The 17th century is known as the Dutch Golden Age, a period of immense wealth and cultural development. The newly independent Dutch Republic emerged as one of the world's leading economic powers. Dutch merchants dominated global trade, establishing colonies and trading outposts across the world through the Dutch East India Company, VOC, and Dutch West India Company, WIC. These companies monopolized the spice trade, particularly in Indonesia and the East Indies, bringing immense wealth to the Republic. During this period, Amsterdam became the financial center of the world, with the establishment of the world's first stock exchange. Dutch painters such as Rembrandt, Vermeer, and Frans Hals created timeless masterpieces, while scientists and philosophers like Christiaan Huygens and Baruch Spinoza made significant contributions to the scientific revolution. Religious tolerance and political structure. The Dutch Republic was notable for its relative religious tolerance. Although Calvinism was the official state religion, Catholics, Jews, and other Protestant sects found refuge in the Republic. This policy of tolerance, along with political decentralization, allowed the Dutch to attract talented immigrants, which further bolstered its economy and culture. Decline in the Napoleonic era. Economic struggles and international competition. By the late 17th century, the Dutch Republic faced increasing competition from rising powers such as England and France. A series of Anglo-Dutch wars weakened Dutch naval power, and the War of Spanish Succession, 1701 to 1714, drained the country's resources. The British Empire and French Empire eventually overtook the Dutch in global trade and naval supremacy, leading to economic stagnation. The French Revolution and Napoleon's influence. In 1795, the Netherlands was invaded by French revolutionary forces, and the Batavian Republic was established as a French client state. Under Napoleon Bonaparte, the Kingdom of Holland was created in 1806, with Napoleon's brother, Louis Bonaparte, installed as king. However, the experiment was short-lived, and in 1810, the Netherlands was annexed into the French Empire. The Napoleonic occupation ended in 1813, when Napoleon was defeated, and the House of Orange returned to power, establishing the Kingdom of the Netherlands in 1815. Modern era. Industrialization, colonialism, and world wars. Belgian Revolution and industrial growth. The newly established Kingdom of the Netherlands faced immediate challenges, including the Belgian Revolution of 1830, which resulted in Belgium breaking away from Dutch rule. Despite this loss, the 19th century saw the Netherlands undergo industrialization, with major developments in textiles, railroads, and shipbuilding. The country also expanded its colonial holdings, particularly in the Dutch East Indies, modern-day Indonesia, which became the crown jewel of the Dutch Empire. World War I and neutrality. The Netherlands managed to remain neutral during World War I, 1914 to 1918, despite its strategic location between Germany and Britain. This neutrality allowed the Dutch to avoid much of the devastation that befell other European nations, though it also strained the country's resources due to trade blockades. World War II and Nazi occupation. During World War II, the Netherlands was invaded by Nazi Germany in May 1940. The occupation lasted until the end of the war in 1945. The war had a devastating effect on the Dutch population, particularly the Jewish community, with over 100,000 Dutch Jews killed during the Holocaust. The most famous victim of the Nazi occupation was Anne Frank, whose diary chronicled her life in hiding during the war. After the war, the Netherlands embarked on a rapid process of reconstruction, aided by the Marshall Plan. Post-war era and the modern Netherlands. Decolonization and economic growth. Following World War II, the Netherlands underwent decolonization, losing its prized colony, Indonesia, in 1949 after a long and bloody war for independence. The 1950s and 60s saw further decolonization efforts, including the independence of Suriname in 1975. Domestically, the Netherlands experienced a period of rapid economic growth during the post-war era, driven by the European Economic Community, EEC, which later became the European Union, EU. Dutch industries, particularly in shipping, finance, and agriculture, became some of the most advanced in the world. Modern politics and social reforms. The Netherlands has been known for its progressive social policies, including the legalization of same-sex marriage, 2001, and euthanasia. Its political system is a constitutional monarchy, with King Willem-Alexander serving as the current monarch, and a parliamentary democracy that values political consensus. Today, the Netherlands continues to be a leader in international diplomacy, sustainability, and human rights, balancing its rich historical legacy with modern global responsibilities.